Have you hit that exciting time as a salon owner where you have, maybe you're above like $500,000 in sales a year and you've started to build your team beyond just service providers? Well, if you're looking for just some secrets and ways to build a winning salon team beyond just your service providers, stick around because today's video is created just for you. And so, we all know what it takes, what we're looking for when it comes to finding a service provider. But when you start to build your team beyond your service providers, you know, this is really where, you really start to make it into a company. It's gone just beyond like, hey, there's a couple of us service providers that have teamed together. We're, doing some awesome hair, awesome skin, or whatever it might be. But now you've reached that point where you're really starting to build a team beyond just service providers. And so, one of the key things to building an amazing team is understanding personality types. That's going to be crucial for team building. So, there's a ton of different tools that you can utilize to start to understand personality types more. And I would even just invite you to, if you haven't taken all of these yourself, take them for yourself, start to understand yourself a lot. And really, because a lot of times as salon owners, we've had to change our identities a lot of times. A lot of people got into the world of salon ownership, they just thought they were going to be a service provider. And it's a way different identity when you're a service provider as when you are the entrepreneur, the leader, the visionary for the company. And so, really understanding what your personality type is, what your strengths are, all of those different things is really going to help you to be able to lead an amazing team and kind of see, hey, like this is where, I'm in my genius mode. And this is maybe where I could find somebody to support on the team so that we could really build that well-rounded team. And so, there's going to be different tools like Myers-Briggs is a great one. DISC is a great one. Clifton Strengths is a great one. So today we're going to be diving in a little bit into the Clifton Strengths assessment and just seeing like, how does this, matter when it comes to team dynamics. And so be sure that you hop on. There's a free version, there's a paid version, whatever it is that you decide to do, but go ahead and take that Clifton Strengths assessment and start to really look over the different domains. So when you take that, you'll notice that there's 4 main domains with team strength. One of them is strategic thinking. Another is executing. A third is influencing. And the fourth is relationship building. And so this isn't always true, but a lot of times we'll see, salon owners are really dominant in strategic thinking. And oftentimes they're low in execution. So it's like you can build all these big visions, but then it's the execution piece. And so when you start to know this, you can start to hire someone who excels in execution or whatever it is that you might be low in, looking for somebody like if you're eventually, usually once you get to that $1.2 million range in sales as a salon owner, that's when you definitely need to have some sort of a salon director or some sort of management role in place to really help continue to build the company and build on that vision. And so when you understand yourself more, you can understand the team it is that you want to create around you to best support everybody on the team so that you can really create a company, that exceeds just you. And so, let's talk about some of those different things. So strategic thinking, so this would be great for a role that requires planning, analysis, and problem solving. So, strategic thinking is a great thing for the leader on the team to have. So if you're the owner and you have strategic thinking, that's incredible because you're always going to be kind of planalizing, made up a new word because you're planning, you're analyzing, you're really starting to solve any problems before they actually even become a problem. Or if there is a problem, you're quick to come up with solutions. Like they kind of come to you like popcorn. And so that's going to be that strategic thinking domain. The next one is executing. So this is going to be great for a role that focuses on getting things done efficiently and effectively. So this would, like we talked about, this would be a great person for a salon director or management, that type of role. Somebody who, really makes sure that they execute on things. It's also great for someone who's in charge of payroll or someone who's in charge of like anything that there's like deadlines. They love to be achievers when they're in this executing role. The third one is influencing. So this is going to be roles that involve persuading and motivating others. So this is going to be, this would be great for somebody who's a leader on your team, somebody who's hosting growth sessions with other team members. It's also great for somebody who's in charge of social media inside of your salon. So anybody, that's persuading or motivating others, like if they're high in influence, that's going to be great. It's great thing to have as an owner too, having that influential role as well. And then that fourth domain is going to be that relationship building. And I would say that we're in the relationship building business. And so everybody on the team, having something in this area is huge. It's going to, just help the company grow even quicker. So this is going to be great for a role that focuses on creating and maintaining strong relationships. And so when we think about this, one of the key areas is going to be your welcome desk. And so really making sure that anybody in that role has high relationship building strengths is going to be key, because, you can teach them, how to utilize your booking system. You can teach them how to do anything, computer oriented or whatever, but it's not always as easy to teach someone relationship building skills if they don't already come with some. And so, just really identifying which positions, require which ideal strengths is huge, and so when you are thinking about hiring in those different areas, you want to make sure that you are thinking about the personality type. You're starting to kind of spot that. Maybe you have people on your team just take the free version of the Clifton Strengths and identify what their top 5 strengths are, especially if you're a smaller salon company and you don't have, as many resources yet to have different roles, like looking for somebody who's, if you find somebody who's really high in influence, saying like, hey, how can you help us with social media? Or, just like brand building in general, that's going to be something great for them. Same with like, anytime you're working with any kind of a financial manager, making sure that they have, strategic thinking is going to be like a key strength for somebody like that. Just because it's different if they're just kind of checking the boxes versus if they're thinking about, making a plan for your future. So once you have had every person on your team, you've taken these strengths, you can kind of really look for how you can fill in gaps in your company, and who you might be looking for next when you are about to fill a role. Because, once upon a time, I think we've all maybe can relate to this on some level. You have hired out of desperation. If you've ever hired out of desperation, I know that's been me before. It's like, oh gosh, somebody quit at the front desk and we need to just get somebody in that. Anybody, if you're a warm body, that's perfect. And, this really takes us into a totally different direction when we can start to become at cause versus at effect of what's happening inside of our business. And so really identifying before that even happens, like what do you look for in different roles inside of your company, so that way when there is a gap to fill, you already know what are the complementary strengths that you would be looking for. And also it helps you to know like, hey, if you have somebody on your team that you're like, wow, I love this person, they're incredible, but for some reason in this role, it's not the best fit for them. You might discover, hey, I've got somebody on the guest experience team or at the welcome desk, whatever you might call that position in your company, that doesn't love to build relationships, and they might just still be an incredible person, but they might be a better executor, better behind the scenes, whatever that might be, looking for how they can contribute to the overall success of everybody if it fits in your budget to do so. But like also, that that's a key thing that you have to have. And so, hey, they might be a great person, but they might not be, another industry might be a better fit for them. And so it can always be a win-win situation. Even if you discover something that at first seems like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have known that, yes, like they can still live their best life as well. So looking for that, looking for those strengths and then continuing to develop on those strengths is going to be key to building an incredible team. So when you start to understand how to leverage these strengths, you really understand how to lead your own business growth. And, when you identify those 4 areas, so you're looking at influence, you're looking at executing, relationship building, and strategic thinking about all 4 areas of that inside of your salon company, you can really start to build an incredible team. So if this video gave you some value, feel free to like it, leave comments, any questions that you have, we would be happy to answer it. We do have a fun download that you are welcome to if you're interested in it, that talks about the Clifton strengths and how you can utilize them to strengthen your strengths on your team. So if you'd like a copy, just comment strengths in the copy in the comments and we will get that over to you. Thanks so much.